Words of our Divine Mother from the book The SunLit Path. These are the passages from the conversations and writings of our Divine Mother. Page 8. A Child's Desire. Question. Sweet Mother, how can we help a child to come out of this habit of always asking? For this, our Divine Mother says, there are many ways. First of all, you must know whether you will not stop him from freely expressing what he thinks and feels, because this is what people usually do. They scold, even sometimes punish the child, and so the child forms the habit of concealing his desires, but he is not cured of them. And you see, if he is always told, no, you won't have that, then simply the state of mind gets settled in him. And when you are small, people don't give you anything. You must wait till you're big. When I'm big, I shall have all that I want. That's how it is. But this does not cure them. It is very difficult to bring up a child. There is a way which consists in giving him all he wants, and naturally the next minute he will want something else, because that's the law of desire, never to be satisfied. And so, if he is very intelligent, one can tell him, but you see, you insisted so much on having this, and now you no longer care for it. You want something else. Yet, if he was very clever, he would answer, well, the best way of curing me is to give me what I ask for. Some people cherish this idea all their life. When they are told that they should overcome their desire, they say the easiest way is to satisfy them. This kind of logic seems impeccable. But the fact is that it is not the object desire that has to be changed. It is the impulse of desire, the moment of desire. And for this, a great deal of knowledge is needed, and this is difficult for a young child. In fact, perhaps one should begin by shifting the movement to things which is better to have from the true point of view, and which it is more difficult to obtain. For if one could turn this impulsion of desire towards for example, when a child is full of desires, if one could give him a desire of a higher kind instead of its being a desire for a purely materialistic object, you understand, an altogether transitory satisfaction, it would make a change. If one could awaken in him the desire to know, the desire to learn, the desire to become a remarkable person, in this way begin everything different. All these things are difficult to do. So, gradually, he will develop his will for these things. Or, even from the material point of view, the desire to do something difficult, as for example, construct a toy which it is difficult to make, or give him a game of patience which requires a great deal of perseverance. If one can orient them, it requires much discernment, much patience, but it can be done. And if one can orient them towards something like this, to succeed in very difficult games, or to work out something which requires much care and attention, can push them in some line like this, so that it exercises a persevering will in them, then this can have results. Turn their attention away from certain things and towards others. Turn their attention away from certain things and towards others. This needs constant care, and it seems to be a way that's the most. I can't say it's the easiest, for it is certainly not easy, but the most effective way. Next topic, true need and desire. Our sweet mother says it is very difficult to find the borderline or the borderland between a true need and a desire. And there we really face a problem which compels an extraordinary sincerity. For the very first way in which the vital meets life is through desire, and yet there are necessities. But how to know if things are really necessary and not desired? For that you must observe yourself. very, very attentively, and if there is anything in you which produces something like a small intense of vibration, then you make sure that there lies a desire. For example, you say this food is necessary for me. You believe, you imagine, you think that you need such and such a thing, and you find the necessary means to obtain that thing. To know if it is a need or a desire, you must look at it yourself very closely and ask yourself, what will happen if I cannot get this thing? Then, if the immediate answer is, oh, it will be very bad, then you may be sure that it is a matter of desire. It is the same for everything. For every problem, you draw back, look at yourself, and ask, let us see, am I going to have the thing? If at that moment something in you jumps up with joy, you may be certain that there is a desire. On the other hand, if something tells you, oh, I'm not going to get it, and you feel very depressed, then again it is a desire. Now, how to give up this desire? Mother says the Buddha has said there is a greater joy in overcoming the desire than in satisfying. It is an experience everybody can have and one that is truly very interesting. Very interesting. There is a kind of inner communion with the psychic being which takes place when one willingly gives up a desire, and because of this, one feels a much greater joy than if he had satisfied his desire. Besides, most usually, almost without exception, when one satisfies a desire, it may always leave a kind of bitter taste somewhere. There is not one satisfied desire which does not give a kind of bitterness. There is not one satisfied desire which does not give a kind of bitterness, as one when eats too sugary a sweet, it fills your mouth with bitterness. It's like that. You must try sincerely. Naturally, you must not pretend to give up desire. Keep it in a corner, because then one becomes very unhappy. You must do it sincerely. Win over little victories. Win your little victories. This is the next topic. In this, our Divine Mother says, if through an effort of inner consciousness and knowledge, you can truly overcome in yourself a desire, that is to say, dissolve and abolish it. And if through inner goodwill, through consciousness, light, knowledge, you are able to dissolve the desire, you will first of all in yourself personally see 100 times happier feeling than if you have satisfied this desire. And then it will have a marvelous effect. It will have the repercussion in the world of which you have no idea. It will spread forth, for the vibrations you have created will continue to spread. These things grow larger like the snowball. The victory you win in your character, however small it is one which can be gained in the whole world. If you really want to do something good, the best thing you can do is to win your small victories with all your sincerity, one after another, and thus you will do for the world the maximum you are able to do. Next topic, change yourself first. Our sweet mother says, you can do nothing with others unless you are able to do it with yourself. You can never give good advice to anyone unless you are able to give it to yourself first. Follow it. And if you see a difficulty somewhere, the best way of changing this difficulty is to change it in yourself first. If you see a defect in anyone, you may be sure it is in you, and you begin to change it in yourself. And when you will have changed it in yourself, you will be strong enough to change it in others. And this is a wonderful thing. People don't realize what an infinite grace it is that this universe is arranged in such a way that there is a collection of substance from the most material to the highest spiritual, all that gathered together in what is called the small individual, but at the disposal of a central will. And that is yours, your field of work. Nobody can take it away from you. It is your own property. And to the extent you can work upon it, you will be able to have an action upon the world. But only to that extent. You must do more for oneself besides than one does for others. These are the golden words of our Divine Mother.